Welcome everyone, Nathaniel here, lead facilitator and program design for Drink Less Feel Fresh. This is just a little intro video to basically give you a rundown of the principles, why they're there, where they've come from, and why they form such a kind of important centerpiece of your alcohol reduction journey. So when we have a guiding set of principles acts as a few things. First of all, it's kind of a if this, then that situation. What I mean by that is, any time along this journey, if things are feeling hard or tough, or maybe you feel disconnected, or you don't have clarity on things, or this is just a reminder to always come back to the principles. These principles have been designed over Tommy and I putting a lot of time in, and just time with people, you know, understanding our craft, understanding this journey as deep as we can, and putting these principles together in a way that no matter what happens along the way, no matter where you're at, no matter what's going on, you will always find one where you go, that's exactly what I needed to hear. And as I said, this has just come from a combination of time in the trenches with people, understanding and unpacking the journey of alcohol reduction and the brain and emotions and people and social and change and all that stuff that gets mixed in. And also the individual context, right? Your individual context about your relationship with alcohol is so down to you that, you know, we had to put principles together that were equally ubiquitous and standardized across the whole kind of membership, but would also hit every single individual problem on the head too. The other side of this is the research side. Now, the research side is a combination of Tommy and I together, 15 years together combined, where we had to find hard and fast ways that were reliable. And so just time and putting in the time to really understand what has legs for this journey that isn't as shallow, I suppose, shallow as just habit change this behavior, do this tactic, say this to yourself. We knew that was always going to be short-term stuff. And anywhere where it's kind of like, you know, when you sign up for those things and it's like just an app or it's just a group or it's a, you know, count your days and all that. They're all great. They're on-ramps. They're great on-ramps, but they're not change, and it doesn't really transform anything. So to summarize this little intro, these principles really are about the core, always coming back to using this as a guide for life as well, not just this part of your life, but this can guide your entire life. And so we'll get into them, and we'll just see what jumps out, and we'll see which ones I feel most relevant. But you'll have it here. So here we go. We'll start with number one. There's room for everything. This is a principle based on expanding the self-concept. We want to try and get people. I'll start again. What's the fastest way to put someone in a state of mind where they want to drink? Well, when your natural alarm systems go off. If you're feeling like alarm systems are happening in your life, then the easiest thing is to dull and secure that alarm, stop the alarm, and booze will do that. So room for everything is expanding the self-concept. There's room for all of your life, internal and external, room for it all. What that means is when we make room for it all, we shut down the alarm systems. We shut down the trigger, we shut down the alarm systems that normally go, time for a drink. So that's when you hear Tommy and I talk about room for everything, how do we make ourselves big? How do we make ourselves vast and deep and wide and inclusive and consuming it all and just being able to handle it all, not out of toughness, not out of resilience, but handle it all because we've become so large in our self-concept, so wide and expanded, and it's all okay. You know, that's the premise of room for everything. It's all okay. And you can see we've got our little kind of blurbs there, which you can go through anytime you want. But that is the premise of room for everything. It's all okay, and it's in me, and it's okay, and it's hard, and it's okay. It's tough, and it's okay, because you can't really move out of that space. That's kind of where you're at. It's all, you got to cultivate that space. And yeah, it's all okay. It's hard, and it's okay. It's painful, and it's okay. Number two, practice awareness. This is the simple but tried and true method of Every time you lose awareness, that's when you drink. You lose awareness of the what, the why, the how, your internal space, how it's feeling, your relationships, losing awareness on your time. Or sometimes it's even, sometimes it's even a conscious, like, fuck it, I'm out of here. I don't want to be aware anymore. I don't want to be constantly checking in. I just want to, have some chill out time. The funny thing is, when you practice awareness, it's that little kind of, it's when you open the door and you've got an option. You've opened the door and you're either going to go up the mountain or you're going to close it and turn around and go out again, knowing that going out, turning around and going out is not going to get you anywhere. But if you want to go forward, there's a damn mountain there. And that is the practice of awareness. It's that the cultivation of it is over time, over time, over time. And you reach a place where you love being so switched on, having so much choice and so aware of where you're at, where your body's at, where your mind's at, and why you could be reaching for a drink almost unconsciously. You can see what's called the chain of reactivity. You can watch the chain of reactivity with enough awareness. You can go, I know what this is. I don't need to do this anymore. So that's going back to the practice of awareness. 3, they all, as you notice, they all tie into each other. Right? Owning the moment is all you need to remember and own is this moment right now. In this moment, if you make a conscious choice to go, nah, I'm not having a drink today, that job done. That's it. That's it. If you can do that and cultivate that, knowing all of the answers are in this moment now. And the practice of being where your feet are, you're good. You're absolutely good. Mental flexibility. And now if you look at these principles, what you'll notice that if they're not there, they fire up signals to drink. Right? If they're not there, these are the things that if you lose them, they fire up signals to drink. So I'll take you in reverse. When there's not room for everything, alarm bells, drink. When you're not practicing awareness, there's unconscious areas of your life, you have unconscious behavior, drink. When you're not owning the moment and drifting off into the future and you're worrying about your past and you're kind of anticipating where things are going, that causes some entanglement and some mess, drink. Next one, mental flexibility, is we have a mind because it's here to be changed, and we must let it and allow it to change as our life conditions change. If we flip it and we have a rigid mind equals pressure equals another opportunity to drink, right? So it's these principles are being designed as an antidote to the primary triggers that we see in people that cause unconscious behavior, and normally unconscious behavior leads to more booze. So mental flexibility is allowing your mind to change, not being stuck in your opinions, not being stuck in your, just habitual ways of thinking, doing, and actually giving your mind and body a chance to flex and feel and change and go through it and discover. Number 5, if it ain't fun, you're exactly right. Because again, and it's not, I don't want to trivialize this one. I don't want to make it, because it's not trivial at all. There's actually a deep awareness in fun and play and keeping it light. It's a great way to go through life. It's a great way to approach things. Is lightness and fun increases awareness. It also increases acceptance of how it is. We'll use the contrast. If someone takes themselves too seriously, a serious personality is the most fragile personality in the room. If you look at 4 and 5, they complement each other. Being able to see the comedy of it all and sometimes the impossible predicaments human beings are in. You've got 2 options. You either break down in suffering, or you laugh at the fact that human life and navigating this is sometimes so comedically hilarious that you can't even plan it. And so to bring lightness is not to trivialize the journey. Bringing lightness is actually a strategy. And lightness and mental flexibility go hand in hand, right? It's a loosening of the boundaries. It's a loosening of your normally people's rigid identities. When you loosen it up, it's prime real estate for discovery. Discovery means anomaly, meaning new things. Discovery meaning ability for new cyclic behaviors. good way. So it's almost like a breaking patterns, breaking old ways. Is you've got to do it lightly. You can't be rigid and live in a new way. There you go. And last one about values aligned action, which is just another, I suppose you call it a deeper layer on actions. It's critical. We're in the world to act, right? There's no way of getting around it. We are acting things and we need to act. But aligning them with what matters most to you puts extra weight and extra meat and extra skin in the game when you're acting. It's not just doing things off a whim or a wish because someone else told you, or you think you should do it, or, you know, it's just kind of shoot from the hip action. That's just running around busy, you know, it's not going to get you anywhere because there's nothing substantial behind it. And again, recipe for drinking is running around being busy with no plan behind it, with no strategy, with no understanding, with no intent, with nothing thought through or backing it. Busyness, just exhaustion, booze, right? Straight away. So they've been carefully thought through, these principles, based on, we know really clearly what sets people up to drink. We know it. We know it like the back of a hand. We know it. We can predict with such accuracy. Tommy and I could sit on the phone with someone on a call, on the group call, whatever. Within 5 minutes, we know if they're going to drink on it because of how aligned they are with this. So it's that centerpiece. It's always got your back because it's been designed to handle basically every situation. As you're going through this journey, you're going to have, you know, all kinds of different ways to engage with these, but coming back to these, we really, really recommend printing it out, having it somewhere, writing it down, and picking one each day to go, yep, number one, today, I'm going to cultivate space for everything, no matter what happens. Traffic, partner, kids, work colleague, ridiculous pressures from life. Yep, I've got room for it all. I've got room for it all. And the magic comes when you feel like you don't. Like, oh, that's pushing an edge, that's pushing a boundary. What would it look like if you had room for it? You might be surprised. Pick one, practice it for the day. We might have this is our little 24-hour, this is just like a little example of life. So if you've got this PDF, you flick it over. But yeah, just a really 24-hour fun little rundown of where you can execute our different principles. That's a rundown. This is the foundation, guys. This is the absolute foundation of what we're doing here. And so we really encourage everyone to learn these, fully integrate them, and always come back to the centerpiece, because we do a lot of talking on them too. You'll notice in all the groups, their centerpiece we come back to, people are sharing about them. The chat around the principles is massive. So we're really, really reinforcing them. And we want everyone to be involved in the conversation of the principles too, because there's a sneaky little thing here, team. And the sneaky little thing is, although your motivation might be to use this for alcohol reduction, the sneaky little Trojan horse here is that when you use them for alcohol reduction, they also start to affect massive positive change in all areas of life. So, and that's the goal here. We get you in from alcohol reduction. And we'll be honest, we get you in an alcohol reduction because we want to set your life up so you love it. Right? So you absolutely love it. And most people, I don't, every time Tommy and I say this, I don't think we've ever had a pushback, is that most people don't want to just, if they don't want to drink less, you know, because of all these little surface reasons. Really, when it comes down to it, you do want a shitload more for your life, and you deserve a shitload more for your life. And this is just one of those barriers. So the principle has been designed to carry you through the alcohol reduction journey and then into the life that you love. Isn't that cool? So that's why it's so fundamental for us. That's why it is the foundation course, and everyone must get this done and complete this as an entry point into wherever you end up in the DLFF universe. Is everyone's been kind of onboarded through the principles. So I will stop that. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for jumping on board with us. And as always, if you've got any questions, we've got groups, we've got emails to hit us up. And as always, we're here for you, team. So from me and the DLFF team, always, when it comes to drinking less and feeling fresh, you've got it. It's all about you. You've got everything you need exactly where you stand, and use the resources. Take it easy, guys.